Hello, welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. We are going to code Emacs Lisp today. Today is episode, let's see what episode is today. Go to Talk Show, show in browser, and go down, episode 699. So we're going to talk about Emacs Lisp. This is continuation from yesterday. Emacs Lisp new functions, define-var-keymap and define-keymap part 2. So we did an hour yesterday. So today I've got things figured out. If you are here, say hi. If you are watching this offline, play at 1.5 speed. Okay. So Emacs 29, which is 2 years ago, has a fantastic new feature. Okay, so let me show you what that feature is. So you can see this is before and this is after. So before you have, this a bit more complicated to define key maps. And now it's much simpler and shorter, the code. So what is that about? This is for Emacs Lisp coders. So, okay, if you don't know Emacs Lisp, this is not interesting to you. This is of no interest to you, okay? But, so let me just code. I need to do this code, okay? So video check, audio check, good. So let's stop that. Okay, so the pink window shows all my command call names on the right and the corresponding keystroke on the left. So you can see as I move the cursor backward, forward, you can see backward word, forward word, okay? So if you see a command, you can search for it and you will find, for example, you'll find my code online. For example, Xah beginning of line or block. So search in the browser, Xah beginning line or block. So you can see here is my website, okay? The other one is, so here is my website. Now go back. The other one, this Wesley guy is a scumbag. He stole my website. I think he bought my tutorial like 5 or 10 years ago and he put it on his website. So that's, this Wesley a scum. So anyway, so that's a pink window, okay? So show my command names and the keystroke on the left. I'm using a Xah flag keys, the most efficient key binding for Emacs. Search for it, you'll find it. It's on GitHub or watch tens of videos, tutorial. It's the most efficient key binding for Emacs, more efficient than Vim. And I'm using a Vora keyboard layout, okay? So let's begin today's topic. So close that. So showing browser, so that's what we're gonna talk about. So let me show, so I need to do, so let's go to my packages, okay? So I have written many Emacs packages, Xah flag keys and all that. So now I need to update them to use the new syntax. Okay, if you don't know yet, we talked about yesterday where, for example, so Emacs 29, which began in 2023, 2 years ago, they overhauled the key binding functions to create shortcuts. So Emacs has thousands of commands. Everything you do is a command, like the command name, okay, including when you type something. For example, let's cancel new buffer, type something. Okay, wait. Type. Why does it go to TYPE? Okay, there is an error in my key binding. Oh, okay. Okay, so S space, so, okay, there is something wrong because I just made some changes to my Emacs. So in Xah HTML mod, so I probably did something wrong. Okay, so space, okay. Oh, okay, yeah, so this one belongs to here. Okay, evaluate the buffer, close it. Now close it, reopen it, Xah HTML mode, now it's fixed. Okay, so I was saying when you type something, even that keystroke is a command. That command is called okay, so let me show you. Describe key, then press a key. So when you type any letter, that actually calls the command self-insert command. Okay, very interesting. So in Emacs application, every keystroke you type invokes the command. So when you type a normal letter like A, B, C, so every time you type A, that Emacs tries to find the corresponding command. If there's none, then it's self-insert command, which just insert whatever the keystroke you type. So this is different from other editors such as VS Code. Open VS Code. There's a command, open VS Code I wrote. You can grab it. It's on my website. You see, so in VS Code, when you type something, the characters, you just insert. It's not a command. But in Emacs, it is. Okay. Oh, the final effect is the same. So that's interesting. Okay, so in Emacs, everything is a command. Now, but then, so everything is a command, but then you can give a keyboard shortcut to any command. That's the power of Emacs. Okay, and so I wrote all these packages, and I need to. So let me show you. For example, Xah CSS mode. Search for map. Okay, so this code block shows where I define the key. So tab space, so you can see a tab there. Tab space we'll call complete symbol. Tab F we'll call format buffer, and so on. This is how I define keyboard shortcuts. So let me demonstrate that. So go to Xah Talk Show today, showing browser. There it is. Go back. Now here's a CSS file. Open it. So if I want to say, let's say here, let's say font family. I forgot what's the name. So tab S completion. So you got font face or font family. So font family. So that's completion. So you can see correspond to these. You see tab there, space, then CSS complete symbol, and that command is defined right here. Okay, see, so search, you see, so go back to CSS. So that's, then if you have F, let's try it again. F, then tab space. Oh, so now you have many choices. Let's say figure. F-I-G-U-R. So what does figure return? Nothing. Figure is a HTML tag. Yeah, that's for example here. Okay, so anyway, that's completion. So save that, close it. Save it, close it. Okay, let's go back to the key binding, which is what I'm talking about. I'm demonstrating how you define keys for commands. Okay, but now since Emacs 29 2 years ago, there is some overhaul of the functions to define keys, which are simpler. Which is better. So the left hand side is a new one, the right hand side Emacs 28 is the old one. Okay, so I started to change for all of my commands, all of my packages. All these are, most of them are major modes. Some of them are minor modes. So almost all of them has code that defines the key. So for example, let's search for key. Let's say search for define key. Okay, copy that. Search in this directory, define key. Just search it, EL files. So you can see all these are occurrences. So if you open one of them, so you can see each one of them define keys. Now you can also see this define key is using the old function right here. The new one is keymap-set. So my job is to update all of them, about 20, 10 or 15 packages to use the new function. Okay, so let me just start to do it. Okay, so let me just show. Let me start to do it. So let's search for that. Okay. Let me just quickly work on it. You wouldn't understand what I'm doing. So yeah, so define key. Let's close that. So let's go to. So what is this one? This one is temp file. Delete that. This one is also temp file. Delete that. So this PowerShell temp, delete that. Go back here. This temp, delete that. This XX, those files starting named with XX in the beginning. So you can see, you see all these XX, those are temporary files. Whenever I modify something, I create a copy. So temp files, we don't care. So Xah CSS mode. Okay, delete that. Now this woofan mode I don't want to change because the key binding are new in Emacs 29, which is 2 years ago. So there's a question you don't necessarily want to update, because if you update, then for people who are still haven't updated their Emacs from 2 years ago, then it wouldn't work for them. So for some very public packages, you don't want to be aggressive in updating them. So the Xah woofan mode, let's so do I want to update them? Let's compact them first. Okay. Do I want to update them? 2 years old Emacs. Maybe. Okay, so go back here. Let's close that. Let's ignore it for now. Okay, LSL mode. Let's open it. Let's see. Now LSL mode involves a menu. So I'm not sure I want to update. I want to update it, but however, I forgot how to define menu. So in Emacs, there's a peculiarity. So remember, these are defining keyboard shortcuts. However, if you want to create a menu, you can. But it also involves using the define key syntax. So in other words, in Emacs, the graphical menu, they are considered as keys, for some reason. So, but I haven't coded menu for a long time, so I don't remember. I have a tutorial, I don't remember. So let's leave that for now. Okay, so let's leave that. Let's go back to CSS mode, close. Let's go back to that. Okay, here, so Xah lookup, so open that. So let's update this one, okay? Yeah, so copy the code, that's the old code. Then paste it here, that's the new code. Now we just need to, so let me show you. So old above, and here is new. Okay, new code for Emacs 29. So let me show you how to do it. So define, this will be define-var-keymap. Okay, and that will go here, and yeah, leave that like that. And here, delete, and delete this line, and cut the whole thing, move it inside here, and then copy that, cut that out. Then for each of these, we want it to be, let me show you we want it to be like that. Okay, so let's define a keyboard macro to do that. So start defining keyboard macro. You can look at the pink window for the command I just called. Okay, start recording keyboard macro. Delete, then delete, delete, then search kbd, enter. Okay, now stop recording. So you can see keyboard macro and macro. Okay, now let's call the keyboard macro. So do it. You can see, the pink window will show the repetition of the keyboard macro. Okay, so then call repeat last command. Do it. Fantastic. And press the key again. Do it. Do. Fantastic. So you see, this is a text transformation. Now, so you can see, so this we define prefix keymap. Okay, so let's see what I want. Keyboard lookup map. Yeah, so wait, so copy that. This will be the name. Where does that occur? Xah lookup map. Search. Okay, modify the value. Okay, search. Okay, so here's the old code, here's a new code, so we don't need this. No. Okay, so prettify the code. Okay, so this is a new, and this is the old. Can you see how it is much simpler? Okay, but let's double check. Xah lookup map. Yeah, so I think that's it. Okay, now select that, comment it out. Now start a new Emacs. Let's see if I got any errors. No error. Fantastic. Magnify, and change background color to pink. So close the, okay, so now let's try lookup. Okay, let's say lookup Emacs versus Vim. Okay, now press. Okay, I got the key. The key is not working. Let me try again. Press. Okay, so this is working, but there is something with my personal command I need to set. Okay, so go to Xah key bindings. This is my personal modification of keys. Now search for look up. Okay, so yeah, so this is a map. So yeah, Xah user keymap h, then Xah lookup map. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, but let me double check. Yeah. Okay, so now kill that, start Emacs again. press one key to start it. Okay, so there's Emacs. Now make it pink to distinguish from this Emacs instance. Now increase the font size. Okay, increase more. Now press space HE. Fantastic. So you see, so it is working. So close that, save, close. Okay, so you can see, let's go back to, yeah, so you can see here's old code and here's a new code, much simpler. Fantastic, one job done. So now go to, now let's cut that. Okay, new buffer, paste it, paste previous, copy that, save it, XX temp file, temp file, then date, then the map name .el, save it. So we save it as a new temp file. So in case I want to go back, I can. Okay, now add XUTF declaration. Okay, save it, close. Now we are back to this Xah lookup package. Okay, now go all the way to the top. Version date, add a new version date, all digits. Okay, and also package requires Emacs 29 because these new commands are only available in Emacs 29. So when people download it and they run, if their Emacs is not 29, it'll complain. So this updating this is nice. Okay, now make a backup, go to the directory, byte compile the file. Is there any error? No. Okay, open the byte compiled file, delete it, close. So that's one thing done. So we updated one of the package. Fantastic. Now close it. Xah key binding, that's my personal key binding, close it. Okay, so this is done. Let's go to next. Okay, Xah JavaScript mod. This is gonna be a big job because wait, oh, there's only few. Okay, so copy it, new buffer, save it, XX today's date, the keymap name .el. This is our temp file, XUTF declaration and lexical binding. Okay, and cut that, paste it here. So we're gonna create a new one. So the new code is gonna be define-var-keymap. Correct. Okay, so delete that and wait. So cut that, the new documentation, and this you don't need anymore. Let's highlight that. Make sparse keymap. You don't need anymore because this will do it, the new function. That's why it's very good. So define a leader map, you don't need to do it. Okay, so remove that, and this. Okay, so this we will do it like that. Okay, so let me show you in a moment. Let me explain in a moment. Okay, so here we select that Emacs rectangle command to remove it, and now delete this KBD. Okay, call last keyboard macro we recorded, do it, and now repeat, do it. Fantastic. Yes. Okay, now programming we don't need it. Okay, now cut, paste it here. Wait, actually this will be define-keymap. Okay, So cut that, put it here, prettify the code. There it is. That's our new code. So compare. Old code is like that, complicated. New code, simple. Now what does this mean? Let me explain this a little bit. So, oh wait, I forgot. This needs to be, what's the key map name? Oh yeah, Xah JavaScript mode map. Yep. Okay, so let me explain. Okay, so normally, let's ignore that one and ignore that one. You know, normally the value of the define-var-keymap is just pairs, key, command name, key, command name, key, command name. But in my case, I want the leader key. So my convention is that every major mode's key start with the tab key. Okay, so you would say, so you would normally let me cut. Let me do a new version. Okay, let me show you how that would be. So normally it would be like that. Okay, okay, so this is one way to do it. You see, I'm defining a key map. So when you press tab space, you call this command. When you press tab F, you call this command, and so on. Okay, but now I want the tab to be customizable. The tab is the leader key for each major mode. So how do you do that? You know, this tab needs to be a variable. You know, you can't have a variable in a string. So what you can do is like complicated. You can like if, so for example, let me show you. This is getting tedious. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so if this variable Xah major leader key, that is a variable that allows you to define your custom leader key for each major mode. Okay, so if people have that defined, then you just use the value. Okay, so whatever that variable's value. Otherwise you say that. You see, so this, you know, so if, you know, otherwise that, then, okay, so then what you have to do is you remove this and you say concat that join string. Okay, so the first part of the string is that, the second part of the string is that. Okay, so you concat, then this goes there. You see, so it's slightly complicated. Then you have to do this for each one of them. You know, remove the tab here, you know, and so on. Okay, so let me do something. Okay, so let me do something. Let me show you. Okay, so undo. The power of undo. Okay, so paste that here. Okay, so we got several forms. We got this form. Then, but if you want the leader key to be customizable, you can do this. So for each of the beginning, you basically say that. So this is another way to do it. Not good. Okay, so instead we go to the final form, which is this one. So you define the customizable leader key over here. So if the major leader key is defined, then you use that. Otherwise, you just use tab. Okay, so after tab, that needs to be, like normally each one needs to be a command, but however you can put a key map, which will mean, you know, after user press tab, then whatever they press will be corresponding to this key map. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, so now finally we are done. Okay, so one more thing, let's change the tab here to be this syntax. That's another new thing in Emacs 29. This syntax, God, it's too many things to explain. But anyway, this syntax it allows you to distinguish tab when you use the tab key. You know, when you press the tab, to distinguish the tab key when you press it in a GUI interface versus when you press it on a Emacs terminal interface. Do you guys know what I mean? So for example, Emacs terminal, no init file, no Windows system. So this is how you run Emacs in a terminal. It used to be, before Emacs 29, you know, in terminal, it cannot distinguish tab key from the tab character. You know, so basically you cannot define your own tab keys, something like that. It's a bit more complicated. But in Emacs 29, they kind of they fixed it. So instead of the capital TAB letter, you use this. You know, this angle bracket, actually that should be angle bracket, not the French quote. So it should be that. Okay. Yeah. So when you use this syntax, then it will just mean tab key, and the terminal will also be able to distinguish the tab key versus the tab ASCII character. So do you guys know what I mean? Hello, ACI. So I'm talking about, you know, lots of complicated thing. So ASCII, if you are a programmer, ASCII characters is the all-important thing you need to know. Okay, ASCII ID, code point, and hexadecimal representation, abbreviation, Unicode symbol, correct notation. So these are ASCII characters. So if you are a programmer and you have been coding for several years, then usually you have some understanding. It's like essential, okay? Especially if you are a C++ kind of coder, the bit diddlers. Now, if you are a JavaScript or Python coder, then usually you don't know. Well, you still need to know some of it, but less. Okay, that's about ASCII characters. Okay, so copy that URL, close it, go to Xah Talk Show today. Is that this page? Yes. Now let's paste the link because that's the things we talked about. Okay, so let's paste the link here. There it is, ASCII characters. Okay, now let's go back to the code. So let's go back here. Let's go back to the code. Is it what? Here, okay. So wait, so close that. Okay, Control C, Control X, Control C to exit Emacs. Okay, so this is the code. Now double check, is it correct? So you can compare, this is old and this is new. Now let's double check if there's error. Okay, so now backup and make byte compile. Let's see what error. Duplicate definition. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I don't care about that. So delete the ELC CSS mode ELC. Okay, so what are we doing? ELC. Okay, JavaScript mode. Okay, so let's double check. Is that correct? I think so. So cut it. Now go back to JavaScript mode. Okay, so now paste the code. Now the old code remove. Okay, the old code remove, but let's color it first. Okay, the old code remove. Okay, now make a backup, go to a directory, byte compile it. Is there error? No. Open it, delete it, close. Fantastic. Another package update done. Now go to the top. You need to update the version number. Okay, and say Emacs 29 and version 29.1. Save. Fantastic. Done. Okay, and this we don't need, so let's delete the this sample code I just showed. Delete it, we don't need it. Save it, and also delete the new part. Save it, close it. Okay, close it, close it, close it, close it, close. Okay, now this is Wolfram mode. Close, we don't want to do. So that is now let's okay, so this is done. Golang, let's do one more. Okay, so now this is Go language mode. Let's do one more. Okay, and maybe that's it. So let's see. ACP says, are you refactoring due to a new feature in the latest Emacs version? Yes, not the latest, but Emacs 29, version 29, 2 years ago. Hello, Simple Postman. ACP says, but in the new form, it doesn't look like you do anything when checking if the leader key var is bound. It does. It does. You see? So let's reopen the JavaScript mode. Okay, so let's go here, JavaScript mode. There it is. Search for map. In JavaScript, there's a lot of word for map, so search for keymap. Okay, so you see here's a new code. So first of all, here we check if this Xah major mode leader key is defined. Now, if you are using my packages, if you are using Xah Emacs system distro, then you have a file Emacs keys here. Open it. Then one of the definition is major mode leader key. Okay, so that allows you to customize what is the starting key for all your major mode commands. All my Xah major mode commands, such as HTML, Golang, Python, Emacs Lisp, CSS, AutoHotkey, JavaScript, So that's that. Okay, so it's checking if that's defined. Now it may not define because someone else, he bought my packages, but he's not using Xah Emacs. He's not using the whole thing. So you check if that is defined. If so, just use the value. Otherwise, return the string tab. So that is the leader key. And what follows the leader key is a key map, which means the leader key will start a key, then whatever key correspond to the corresponding command. Okay, so is that what you're asking? You see, when it's bound, when it's bound, it just returns the leader keys value itself. Yes. So the code is a bit, kind of, it's not exactly complicated. It's just the way they are, Okay, so that's JavaScript mode. Close that. Let's do one more. Now we explain the whole thing. We can do this quickly. Okay, copy new buffer, paste, copy the name, save it, XX today's date, the map name .el. Okay, go to the top, XUTF to declare key binding. Okay, then copy the whole, paste the new here, and let's start to define var-keymap. Okay, then the variable will be named that's a template. Okay, then delete that. Then the documentation will be that. Okay, for go mode. Okay, then you don't need this part. Then this program delete. You don't need that. This make keymap you don't need anymore because that defines it, the keymap. And make the leader keymap. Okay, we are not doing that. Let's delete that. And this part, okay, gets complicated. You don't need that. Just say that. Okay, and change the syntax to the new Emacs 29 tab syntax. Okay, remove that. And here this rectangle cut. Okay, now transform the key KBD. You don't need that, so call the macro we did before. Do it. Okay, and now these three children needs to be define-keymap. Okay, paste it and there. Okay, prettify it. Fantastic. Okay, prettify it, and then let's see, then move this inside. That's a key. Then what is the value? The value is this map. Prettify the code, go to the top. Fantastic. So compare before, after. One more check. Is it correct? Let's highlight this word just to make sure. You see this highlighting, highlight symbol at point is very useful. Visual clarity. So press one key, you can see where the variables are or whether you have a typo. Okay, double check this. Does this looks right to you? Yes. Okay, cut. Go back to the Golang mode, paste it there, delete the old code, make a backup, go to the directory, press B2 byte compile. Yes. Is there an error? No. Open it, delete it, close. Fantastic. Close Golang mode. Okay, wait. Reopen Golang mode. Go to the top. You need to say package requires now 29.1. Okay, and update the version date or digits and increase this to 8. Fantastic and beautiful. Okay, so we talked for 54 minutes. Okay, so but this is done. Close. Okay, so this Golang mode is done. Close. Let's see. Simple Postman says, sorry for off topic. What keys do you have on the thumb cluster? The last update I found on your site was done in 2023. I'm thinking about binding apps switching for the upper thumb cluster row. So are you using a Glove 80? So by the way, this is Glove 80 keyboard for those of you who don't know. So I think that's it for today. So I'm just gonna talk about keyboard a bit. So hold on a second. Let me check if there's anything I want to talk about. Not really. Okay, so we covered we completed the task of these two things. Oh, there's one more thing. So I have a tutorial for writing for you Emacs Lisp coders if you want to write a major mode. So there, you go to create a major mode. There's an entire set of tutorials about creating a major mode for for a new programming language, or for a new shell, or for a new interaction with ChatGPT or AI, whatever. So this is how you do it. But I focus on just creating a major mode for programming languages, like when you have a new programming language. And one of the section is creating key binding here. And on this page, I'm still using the old way. So you can see it's using the old way. So I need to update it. It's trivial, now I know how to do, so I can, update this in 5 minutes. But you also know, if you have watched today's show, you also know how to update this. Okay, so but that's it. Let's see, Xah Talk Show today. Yeah, that's it for today. Today's thumbnail is brought to you by the 4chan people. Okay, and yeah, that's it. And here is the Python example of old key binding functions with versus the new. Yeah, so that's it. So you are saying, so wait, so you are using Xah. So yeah, so for those you don't know, I haven't done. Wait, why is this so small? Are you guys seeing my full screen of my desk, right? So this keyboard is Xah 80, fantastic. I have video reviews. This is Ultimate Hacking 2. This is Nulia trackball. Okay, so and I haven't. A lot of people ask me for this, but I haven't used it. So this is really fantastic. Svalboard, Svalboard. Okay, so let me answer your question. So you are saying that what keys do you have on the thumb cluster? Okay, the last update I found on your website is 2023. I'm thinking about binding app switching for the upper thumb cluster. Okay, so this is about, so I'm assuming you are also using Xah keys, right? Answer that. Well, because that's important, so okay, so let's go to Xah keys. Okay, go to the top, go to the URL, open it. So that's Xah keys, and there is a section on Batman keyboard layout. So this is for people who have these, like me, special keyboards, and they want an optimal key binding for them. So that's why. So you have Xah 80 keyboard. I also have Kinesis keyboard, Kinesis Advantage keyboard, like that. I also have, early, like 10 years ago, I was using this truly ergonomic keyboard. So I also have my opinions and detailed analysis on what is the best key mapping, for this keyboard. And another one is, the Ultimate Hacking keyboard, this one. Okay, so and there's also this one, Google keyboard. Okay. So the question, so about the what key map should you use? So basically so let me tell you. Okay, so I have my customization right now is the left hand side is unchanged. Okay, everything is the same. The right hand side, this key, okay, so let me this key, the top right, is escape, and this one, the middle top, is tab. Okay, and that's it. That's it. That's the change I've made. But Yeah, usually, well, I made this change only like a few weeks ago, but before that, the tab is on the right. So the upper right is tab, the top middle is escape. Okay, that's all I have. So does that match with what I have? Yes, exactly. It matches what I have, here. So to me, so I think this is not a very critical change for me, critical keymap. Well, so it really depends on you. So yeah, so I think it really depends on you. Just the only thing I think you should remember is that don't move your thumb like that too much. Okay, like move your whole hand instead of just moving your thumb. For some reason, I started to have thumb pain. That's another new thing. Okay, I have my knuckle right here. Started 2 months ago for some reason. I do not know exactly why. I don't know if it's because of the typing or because I was like fighting with my wife. I don't know exactly. So, but I started to have a pain here. That's too bad. And also I type so much. Like right now, here and here, both hands are sore, even with all this setup. And also because I'm getting old. So anyway, so just don't move your thumb too much. Okay. Then otherwise it's up to you. As for switching app key, for me, I press this key. So let me show you. You see this key. So if I put my screen back here, now watch me press this key. So if I go here, press that key, so you see switch the last tab, the last app, just like old tab. Okay, you see. Okay, so that's what I do. So the question about whether two options, use Xah keys or use Xah keys and follow everything else what I'm doing. Okay, I would recommend just use Xah keys. Okay, if you use Emacs, then absolutely it is my highest recommendation. Anyone should use Xah keys. Does not matter what keyboard you have. May it be a normal keyboard, that's fine. Use Xah keys. That will save your hand pain tremendously. Even better than EvoMod or Nim or Vim or NeoVim. Okay. But if you are if you are a VI user, Vim, NeoVim, that's fine. If you are EvoMod user, it's not too bad. Okay. But other than that, I think it's really up to each person. Okay, so you don't have to follow like everything I do. So one of the thing I really think is great is this hover to activate feature. So I never press mouse buttons. The mouse button is another hand pain inducer. Either with a physical mouse, like you click, or with the thumb. Thumb is worse because you actually have to exert pressure. Normally on a mouse, the buttons are on the top, so you can use gravity. You don't have to move your finger. Let me show you. You don't actually have to move your finger. When you move your finger, you have to exert muscle force from there. But instead, you can just make your finger stiff and just press like that. So you are not actually using your muscle. Okay, so that's when the buttons are on top, those are good. But when the buttons are on the side, you cannot do that, so you actually have to press. But if you turn on the hover to activate, like I do, like here, 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 now you watch my hand, there's no pressing of any mouse buttons. Hover to activate, okay? Fantastic. So that I highly recommend. But again, each person is different, okay? That also depends on how many hours you sit in front of computer. For me, I'm kind of a world record holder, literally, no kidding, okay? So I for like 10 years I sit in front of a computer more than anyone. Kind of the top 1000 in USA for 10 years. I don't have proof of that, but it is my guess. It's so severe. You guys, I don't think anyone would, you guys wouldn't understand, okay? So depending on how much you sit in front of a computer and all that. So I recommend, hover to activate is very good. And also a must thing is that every hour you must get up and walk about or whatever, move for 5 minutes every hour, okay? Every hour get up, move for 3 minutes, or every 2 hours get up for and move for 5 minutes or 10. That's it. That is essential if you sit in front of the computer all day. Can the pen be caused of the palm rest on the keyboard? No, I actually don't use palm rest much. Oh, I forgot I even have it on. Why not to use a trackpad instead of mouse? Trackpad is no good. Okay, I don't like a trackpad at all. Trackball is much better because trackpad you have to rub your fingers on the pad all the time. Also, trackpad is flat. My RSI is so severe, I don't think you guys understand. You see, on a trackpad, your hand is flat because trackpad is not tilted normally. You can tilt it if you want to. You have to put something under, but normally it's like that, okay? For example, on the MacBook, I use all day. So I use the computer so much that even just put my hand on the table, do nothing, just put there for 10 hours a day or something, you can feel you can feel there is a problem, okay? I can feel it because if I twist my hand all the way back this way, now I feel so much comfortable. I can feel it, because then this way because it's like a torture. You force someone to sit and put your hands like that, flat on the table for 12 hours a day for a year, for several years. That's gonna be a problem. Even if you don't do anything, we are not talking about moving fingers to type at all. Just in that position for too long, it's a problem. So what I'm describing is the degree of severity of the hand issues I'm talking about. So for most of you guys, it may not apply because nobody, you are not gonna be like me sitting in front of a computer for like 12 hours a day. I'm talking about like literally 12 hours a day. Not you think it's 12 hours, but anyway. So I don't like trackpad. So first of all, it's flat. Then you have to rub your fingers on it, like rub. It's not feeling good, and also it's not precise. It's much less precise than a mouse or a trackball. And also, all the gestures is actually no good. They create hand problems. Okay, so what you actually want is physical buttons, physical movement, and you don't. And the other thing is rubbing your fingers on the thing. So many years ago, the Apple fixed it. You know, Apple's new trackpad, they have these surface that when you slide your finger on it, it feels okay. But before that, in most trackpad, you don't feel good. You know, you like it is not natural for human to rub fingers on a slab all the time for hours. Okay, that's my opinion about trackpad. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Bye guys. If you enjoyed my show, if you learned something, donate to me, okay? Go to PayPal, go to xahli.info, my homepage, and all the way at the bottom, Patreon me, Amazon gift card me, and PayPal me, okay? That's it for today. Thank you. So Xah keys, fantastic, close. So we shut down in 2 minutes. Xah keys, fantastic. Xah Talk Show today is done. Fantastic.